Hi, I'm Kim Hunter, and this is Julie. Welcome to our home. I had a meeting with this gentleman who is the director over at one of the assisted living homes, and actually was going to go talk to him about SendOutCards. And as it turned out, he said he was going to be there one of the weekends because they're open 7 days a week, assisted living home. And I said, would it be possible for me to stop by on a Saturday? He said, sure, no problem. So I came by on a Saturday, and I was, not dressed up, and I had my 2 dogs with me, and I was going to leave the dogs in the car, and I mentioned this to the gentleman, and he said, oh, bring the dogs in, as long as they're well behaved. So I brought them in. We had a really good meeting. The dogs slept through it. And afterwards, as I was on my way out, I've got the 2 dogs, and one of the workers there came up to me and said, hey, would you be willing to bring the dogs by to meet somebody who really loves pugs? And I said, of course. And we walked into his room, and the first thing I noticed were all of the photos of his family on the wall. And in fact, there were even photos of his dog, a pug, on the wall. And I walked in, and I took a look, and here was a man just sort of sitting in a wheelchair, kind of slumped there, watching television, not looking very happy. And he looked up and he saw us and he saw the dogs and he lit up. And he's just like, where did these dogs come from? And I think it was Julie we put on his lap, and he fell in love with Julie, and then he fell in love with Bert. I could see that what a difference it made just to be there, just to show up. And I was so mesmerized by it that I just had to take some photos of the scenario. It was beautiful. Afterwards, I sent him a card that was pretty much from the dogs to Kurt, saying it was nice to meet you. And that was sort of it. And then about a week or so passed. I come home one day, and I'm having the worst day. It was one of these days where I'm not kidding. I walked into Starbucks to get a drink, and the lady looks at me and she says, this one's on the house. That is how pathetic I looked. So, and I came home. I was just not in a good mood. And my husband says, hey, you got a card or a letter from somebody. It looks like a child wrote to you. And I looked at it and I said, that's not a child. And I opened up the letter, and it was a beautiful letter from this man, Kurt, thanking me for visiting, telling me that he loved the card that I had sent him with the dogs. And in fact, the card was addressed not only to me, but to the dogs as well. And it was so moving to me, it actually made me cry in a good way. I've since been going about once a week. I go take the dogs, and I take photos. I send him cards. What I loved is that there were the cards that I had sent him lined up. And he has since written me another letter, and he told me he looks at my cards every single day. I mean, it means that much to him. And I think, how simple to send a card, and that it can make that much difference in someone's life. It's making a difference. That's what it's all about. Right, little Julie? Little Julie, making a difference. Yeah? You see Mommy?